Hi, sweet friend. Welcome to our show, Watercolor Happy Hour. I'm Volta, the artist behind Color Snack, and this is my husband, Dan.
Hi, I'm Dan, the husband behind Color Snack.
He is the husband behind Color Snack. Also the in-house mixologist / cocktail master / chef Dan, all the things. I'm excited. Today's cocktail is a really fun and special one. You want to talk about it?
Oh, I mean, you're having such a good time.
Yeah, I'm having a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Yeah. So this cocktail today was inspired by a trip to Euro Deli, which is one of the Eastern European grocery stores / delis / convenience stores that are around Dallas. Interestingly, all of the places that are called European anything tend to be all Eastern European.
Yeah.
Which I'm not complaining about.
No, I'm glad they exist.
Yeah, but it's funny that they're all like Euro.
Yeah.
When
it's Eastern Europe.
It's Eastern European.
Yeah.
Like there's no France, there's no Italy, there's no UK.
Yeah.
Technically part of Europe, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There's specialty stores for those. So yeah, let the Slavs take all of let the Slavs take all of Europe. Who knows? And what we got there was something that many of you probably haven't heard of, and that's kvass, or in Cyrillic, all this stuff. Kvass is a non-alcoholic, or maybe tiny bit of alcohol, like kombucha.
Not this one, though.
I mean, it doesn't say it on there, but I think if you're allergic to alcohol, you probably shouldn't be drinking kvass.
Okay.
Because it is technically fermented.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it says it on there, but it's probably a bad idea.
Oh my God, is kvass the modern day kombucha or something?
Hey.
LinkedIn user, hello.
Yeah, somebody. I guess it's like the OG kombucha.
Yeah.
I don't know which one came first. Actually, kombucha is really old.
Yeah.
Too. I don't think both
That's
of those.
True. Yeah, we'll have to look that up. But basically, yes, kvass is a fermented drink made out of rye bread. And I know it sounds like, for people that have never had a kvass, it probably sounds like, what, fermented rye bread? That sounds so weird. But I promise you, it's like Russian Coca-Cola.
It really is.
It tastes so good.
If you look up photos of kvass in the Soviet Union, there were kvass dealers, kvass vendors.
Yeah.
I just learned about this over the weekend because Volta's parents were visiting. There were like babushkas that would hang out in street corners with this giant kvass bucket or canister barrel, kvass barrel.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like a wooden barrel. It was like a yellow plastic barrel.
It wasn't plastic. It's like metal or something.
Metal.
Not
Even
plastic.
better. Metal. Yeah. Giant metal barrel. And they just sit there in like their little lounge chair with a kvass cup. And people would come up and they'd line up and just get a cup of kvass and go on about their day. So yeah, it was like a soft drink. And it is, like what I was saying, it's made out of just chopped up dried rye bread that they then throw in a bucket with some sugar, and the yeast that's still in the bread just makes it carbonated and makes a soda. And there you go. It's kind of full circle. So
but there are, I do want to give a disclaimer that not all kvasses are good.
Oh yeah, there's some bad ones.
We tried the first one we got, we literally just poured the whole bottle out because it was so bad. So I don't know, I guess, how do you know I guess the best way to know which one to get at a Euro deli or like a European type of store is probably just to ask the owners or the cashiers. They'll probably know.
Yeah, and if not, just try some.
Yeah.
Usually if they're in a glass container, they're better, but not necessarily.
Yeah.
So yeah, give it a try, see what works for you.
Well, let's see who we have here. Hi, Patricia. Hi, Georgetta. Molly, hello.
Hi, Molly. Hey, everyone.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
All right, let's make the cocktail.
Yeah, and we could not find any existing Kvass cocktail. Somebody made Kvass with a beet, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
That's just some other fermented drink. You're just calling it Kvass.
So this is like a Dan original
Yeah, this is original.
cocktail.
Another original, and we struggled with what to name it.
Yeah, I just called it Kvass Cocktail.
Yeah, Kvass Tail.
Kvass Tail or
Yeah.
this
because you can't, because it's made out of rye bread, so you can't really use the word rye.
the Slav dream.
The Slav
I
dream.
don't know.
Slav dream. Well, it is. It's made with hazelnut liqueur and dry curacao and orange curacao. So if let your imaginations run wild and come up with a good name for it.
Yeah, if you guys have any name ideas, please leave them in the comments, because I think this is too good to pass up. Like, just before you know it, they'll be serving Kvass cocktails all over Dallas.
You never know. Yeah. So what we're going to do first is start with our garnish, because we're doing a sugar rim. The sugar rim was inspired by a drink that I had a lot in college that uses Frangelico, the hazelnut liqueur, called a chocolate cake shot. So I know, yeah, delicious. It is very much a collegiate drink, but it's hazelnut liqueur, Frangelico, vodka, and a sugar-coated lemon. And somehow that combination tastes like chocolate cake. So I had a feeling that this would taste good. So I'm just doing a quick sugar rim to give us a little bit of sugar while we're drinking it. And then I'm going to take the lemon and just give it a quick candy, coating it in sugar and letting that kind of rest for a minute to kind of create a nice sugary coating on the lemon while we finish the rest of the cocktail. Now this is a built cocktail, so it's an easy one. So we're just going to take this and fill it up with ice. Nice and full. Look at that.
Look at that.
Didn't spill an ice cube. So now I'm going to spill everything else. Then we're going to take a Frangelico, and this is a relatively low alcohol cocktail because Frangelico is only 20%, and I believe this is 40%, but we're not using a lot of it. So we're going to take an ounce of Frangelico. Frangelico, not Frangelica. I always want to put an A on it. I want to make it feminine. We're going to pour an ounce of Frangelico. We're going to take a half ounce, that's 15 mLs of orange curacao. Just a little bit of lemon juice, maybe 5 mLs, so that's a teaspoon of lemon juice, just to add a little bit of acidity, because that kvass is pretty strong.
It's not that strong.
Well, it's strong as in it has a strong flavor. You want to offset the wryness with a little acidity. And then we just top it off with the kvass.
So pretty. Look at those colors.
So we get a straw to give it a little light stir. We just jab it a few times because we don't want to disrupt that cool sugar rim. A little agitation. Take our now well candied lemon wedge, plop it on there, and there you have it, the Kvass Cocktail. A brand new cocktail for all you sweet friends.
I love it. Let me try it.
Yes. Whoops.
Looks so pretty.
That guy's falling off.
Okay.
Put it on there like that.
That's so good. Also, I love this.
Yeah, that's actually a good look.
Yeah, if you can just put the slice of lemon right on top. It's so good.
Oh, that is really good. It's like
it almost
cakey, bready.
Is this like having nocelata on bread? Like that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like the notes I'm getting is like a little bread, a little, but definitely chocolatey because of hazelnut.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Well, you could call it Nutella.
Nutella.
That what people would know Nutella more than nocelata.
Oh yes, Nutella. That's what I meant to say.
This is totally Nutella. Nutella cocktail.
Yeah.
There we go. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that does taste a lot like Nutella. Now,
that's so good.
One thing of note, I played around with a lot of different mixtures to come up with this. The The one problem was I couldn't get enough alcohol to really call this a cocktail. It's always like low alcohol. The only other ingredient that was strong enough to kind of hold up to it was cognac, which seems a bit odd in this mixture, but it works. I tried vodka. Vodka cut right through it. It just tasted like vodka. I tried rum, same situation. But cognac, because it's also warm like the rest, it balanced it out well. So if you prefer a strong cocktail like me, go ahead and add in a little bit of cognac and it'll still taste fine.
Let's see, LinkedIn user. I always thought kvass kind of tasted like root beer. That is a good approximation.
Yeah, like a yeasty root beer.
Yeah.
I think is it Jamaica or is it South America? Or the Caribbean or South America, or maybe African. I can't remember, but there's a drink called like Malta or malt. It is another malt beverage like this, and it tastes
so
similar to
malty
that.
is like a good name for it.
Yeah,
like
malty is a good
describe the flavor
good
of
description.
kvass. Yeah.
But kvass has a bit more like astringency, but not in like a bad way. It's rye more than it is pure malt.
Yeah. It's good. You guys have to try it.
Yeah, it's unique.
Dane said, you had me at taste like Nutella. Yes, it literally does. This cocktail, it reminds me of like having a Nutella toast.
Yeah.
Piece of toast.
Yeah, and then if you are someone that likes a little more alcohol, if you put cognac on it, it tastes like Nutella on toast with honey.
Yeah. Is that what you did? Did you just add some?
Yeah, that's what I just did. Try that.
Let me see. How does it taste like it has honey in it now?
Because cognac tastes like honey.
Oh. I wouldn't say that cognac tastes like honey.
Well, cognac in this sense tastes like honey.
In this sense, yeah.
What's interesting too is I've added in an ounce of Frangelico, an ounce of cognac, and a half ounce of dry curacao into this tiny cup.
Mm-hmm.
So really, this is about half liqueur and half kvass. But it does not taste like that at all.
Yeah, no.
Might be a dangerous drink.
Yes, highly recommend it. Definitely enjoy responsibly.
Yeah. Also, this is kind of like the Slav Cuba Libre.
Yeah.
Slava Libre.
Slava Libre.
What's the equivalent of free in Russian? What's free?
That word is really hard to pronounce.
Let's still say it.
Yeah.
What is?
Svoboda.
Svoboda?
Yeah.
Svoboda.
Svoboda.
And hazelnuts even worse, because I tried to figure out.
That's, yeah.
Say free hazelnut.
Svobodny listnoyeria.
Oh my god, it's so many syllables.
Yeah. All right, now that we've had a Russian lesson for the day, let's paint some watercolors.
Maybe Romanian's easier? What's Romanian?
Yeah.
How about Spanish? You know all the languages.
Dan, will you switch the camera, please?
Just trying to show off your polyglottiness.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, that was Dane Miller. Hillary, get it. Yeah, Dane. Yeah, it's bread. Well, it's not. It's funny. The rye bread. It's not a liqueur. The kvass is like a soda. So this is non-alcoholic. So feel free to go nuts. Well, little alcoholic, but like 0.01% type of stuff. What was I doing? I was switching the camera.
Cameras,
I got distracted. Sorry, I just got really bright because Volta
is it better now?
changed. No, it's I haven't switched the camera yet. There we go. She switched to her high intensity camera.
How's that?
Yeah, let me turn off these other lights so that shadow goes away.
All right. So excited now that we've made this cocktail. We're gonna paint it. LinkedIn user, I think that's Tiffany. She said, I see Volta unveiling the Kvass Cocktail at Jubilee 2022.
What is Jubilee 2022?
That's a cherry bomb thing.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know.
You wouldn't know.
Well, for those other guys like myself.
Cherry Bomb is a magazine and community of women that are in any way related, like working in the food industry. So I love being a part of it. I've met so many amazing friends. And every year they have a little, not a little, there's like a celebration jubilee thing. And I'm excited to attend next year. All right. So
Let's see this one for you.
there's a little shadow. Can you fix that?
What's the
There's
shadow?
a shadow.
No, that's from that guy. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't fix it.
Oh.
Unless you want me to blow it out with something else. Let's see.
Yeah, that's better. I think so. All right. So
the
we'll.
way that you would fix it would be this. Let me do something. Oh, you keep painting.
All right. So we'll get started with sketching this cocktail. Sorry guys, trying to fix the shadow here, but it's.
Oh, that's it. Sorry. I know what it's.
Still happening.
I know what it's doing. It's that bad. Just hit the button one time.
Okay.
There you go.
All right, yay, we fixed it. Okay, so to sketch out this cocktail, we're gonna start with 2 parallel lines because essentially it's gonna be a little like rectangular shape here. Then it's gonna have a curve at the bottom and then go like have 2 other curves that kind of go outwards.
Is that for me?
Yeah, that's for you. Do you want to paint with us?
Yes.
Here's a pencil if you'd like to sketch it out.
I will.
All right, so I'm gonna start with my 2 parallel lines. And then I'm gonna do a little curved line here at the bottom. And then I'm gonna do another kind of curve this way. So almost like a semicircle here and another semicircle on the other side. And then just gonna extend these little lines a little bit more and have a nice curve that connects these. Dan, did you catch that? So I did 2 parallel lines, then I did a curve here, and then these lines at the bottom, like for the base, they're kind of like 2 semicircle.
2 parallel lines and a semicircle.
Yeah, no, they're 2 semicircles. Cause see, look, they go like this.
2 semicircles.
Yeah. To do that little curve at the bottom of the glass.
There's 2 semicircles and make 1 whole circle.
Yeah, but these are like pointing outwards. Okay. Then at the top we have another slightly curved line here. And another curved line that's gonna be opposite or like a mirror. And then for the lemon wedge, it's gonna be kind of like a circular shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, just a little lemon slice. And then we want to do the little handle on the side, and that's kind of going to be 2 little lines going off of the lemon, and then 2 parallel lines going downwards for the handle, and then we're going to kind of have another angled set of parallel lines that connect to the glass. Just roughly kind of like drawing a little glass handle. I was so excited to find these new glasses at a thrift store, and it was so interesting that same day I had some tea at a restaurant that had the same glasses, and then and then I went to the thrift store and I found them, and I was so excited because I really liked them. Anyway,
they're actually kind of similar to Russian tea glasses.
Yeah, we need to get some.
Yeah, Russian tea glasses are made of glass, but they have a little metal holster under them.
Yeah, they look super fancy and fun. And last thing I want to do here is I'm going to do a couple of square-like shapes to represent the ice cubes inside, and these can be kind of random, however you want to paint them. I'm just going to do like four little cubes here. And I think we're ready to, let me see, I'm gonna just erase a few of these extra lines, and then we can start painting. All right. Let me see, I have my brush pen. Dan, I hope, I don't know if these, you might have to add some water to your brush pens. Should be plenty, yeah.
I say like I'm an expert. Oh, I know how much water I need.
Well, actually, for this one, not a whole lot of water. So I'll be using this set of watercolor sheets. They're really cool. Like they're super saturated, highly saturated little squares of color. And they come, I'm gonna probably use this palette for mixing only because it's like a little bit of a larger area. But it does come with a little mixing spot too. So you can totally like use this if you're out, having brunch with friends or out about the town.
That sounds like a great product. Who makes it?
Oh, Viva Watercolors. Sorry. Viva Watercolors. I actually partnered up with them for a co-branded set of watercolor. Anyway, this is for another time. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of water, like a droplet of water from my brush pen onto this area around the ice cubes. So I'm not gonna add water or like paint with water or on the ice cubes, just around them. And the way you know you kind of have enough water is it needs to have like a nice glisten to it. So if it's dripping, that's a little bit too much water, you can always grab a paper towel and lift that off. Or if it's, if it's not glistening, then there's not enough water there. Let's see, so for this color, this cocktail, I'm gonna be using burnt umber because that reminded me a lot of the color of the Kvass. So you'll see how I'm just grabbing like a little bit of color and it's super, super saturated in my palette here. And I'm just gonna start dropping this color in, and because we have a layer of water, the watercolor is starting to kind of like flow out. In a nice, flowy, watercolory way. So I'm just painting it around this area. Let's see. I'm just gonna cover this whole area with burnt umber. And I might add another layer because I want it to be a little bit darker. So basically with watercolors, the more water you add, the lighter it will appear. Versus if I'm just going straight into like the palette to grab the color, it will appear a lot darker in value. So that's just something to keep in mind.
Straight from the palette?
I would use it from here first, like add the first layer, and then you can add like a little bit of darker areas. Let's see, now I'm going to clean off the brush and I'm going to soften. So I'm cleaning my brush pen on this towel, and I'm just going to soften these edges around the ice cubes just so that they kind of look like, they're part, like submerged in the beverage. And it creates a nice, like fun, kind of glowy effect to these ice cubes. Let's see, Dane, what kind of paper do you typically like to paint on? I recommend watercolor Kanzen 140-pound paper. It really is, I would say like paper is the most important thing in order to enjoy the proper watercolor experience, because even with like student grade or like the cheapest sets of watercolor paints, you can still have a lot of fun but only if the paper is thick enough. Like that's super important because we are using a lot of water.
All right. So what they call student grade is fine as long as it's 140 plus.
Oh, no, I mean student grade watercolor sets.
Oh, sets.
Yeah,
Oh.
or watercolor paints. But for paper, I would recommend at least 140 pound is kind of like the standard paper weight. And Kansan is just my favorite brand because I've been using it for years, and even when I do client illustrations, I'll do them on these papers because the surface is really smooth, so it's really nice to get that like food detailing in, as opposed to like if I'm painting a piece for to sell like an original watercolor painting, that would go on arches, and that's kind of the high end, but it is archival paper and it's supposed to last hundreds of years.
Right. So archival paper is the best.
Yeah, but it's not necessary. I mean, it's only if you're like intending to sell your watercolor.
So it's going to look as good. It's just not going to look that good for as long.
Yes, yeah, because it is. I mean, we are talking like paper. It's not a canvas that has more. What's the word? Longevity.
Like oil paint. Oil paint is not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
And if I remember correctly from the office, the lower the number on paper, the thicker it is.
No, the higher the number. So the highest, the more, the higher the number on the pounds. So like there is 80-pound paper that should not be used for watercolors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the lower the number of pounds, the thinner the paper will be.
Oh, that's the number of papers that make a pound?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, the number of papers that make a pound would mean the lower was thicker. It's
No. 140 sheets make in a pound are like it's really thick paper.
Yeah, but you said higher is
better.
But then it would mean the paper was thinner because more of it would make a pound.
That's a very good question. I don't remember exactly.
I think it's actually no.
Okay, I don't know. I can't remember the math on it.
I think it's the number of pounds that a certain number of pages weigh.
Perhaps. Yes. Yeah. I think that's correct.
I think it's like 100 pages or 1,000. A ream of paper weighs 80 pounds versus 190 pounds. So some other archaic numbering convention.
That sounds right, but basically what you guys should worry about higher is thicker, and definitely like I wouldn't go below 120 pound paper, just because it's not going to be a fun experience, and you're going to be like, oh, I hate watercolors, and I don't want you to hate watercolors. Just invest in really good paper, and you will love watercolors.
Did you use a different color on yours than the?
No, I used burnt umber.
Oh, burnt umber.
Yeah.
That's right. I was using the wrong one.
Yeah. All right. Now that we've chatted up a whole storm, I'm gonna grab a little bit of this chrome yellow. I'm just gonna grab some on my brush, and let's see. Just gonna mix it in this spot. Yeah, like it's highly pigmented. I love that you just need a very little amount and add some water, and you have like really nice, vibrant watercolor paints. All right, so I've got and then I'm gonna clean off my brush, and I'm going to just use some of this color that's on the edge of the lemon and kind of spread it out so that the inside of the lemon is going to be of a lighter value, just so that you have that kind of difference in the different areas. I've really been waiting for the Dunder Mifflin and Color Snack crossover. Tiffany, I don't know what that is.
Tiffany, Volta is not a huge fan of The Office.
Oh, sorry.
Just FYI,
I
don't
hope we
judge her for
can. I
this.
hope we can still be friends.
Dunder Mifflin was the company that they worked at.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right. Cool. So I'm gonna.
Would you believe
Uh-huh.
that Volta watched the entirety of Scott's Tots and did not cringe at all?
Stop, Dan.
Are you
People
a
are gonna think
robot?
I'm not a robot. Okay, I'm grabbing a little bit of slate black from this palette and just adding it into this mixing area. I'm gonna add a drop of water to make it a little bit lighter. And then I'm just gonna use that to kind of outline the base of the glass. I'm just gonna add a few little extra lines to kind of show the shadow. Then we can clean off the brush and always come back right in and soften these lines so they look more uniform. Now I also like to add this little, so if I'm going over with the brush right underneath this area that I painted, and I'm like just barely touching it, but it's some of the color is like seeping through, and I like that effect because it's in the cocktail itself, like you can see a part of this area is kind of like reflecting some of the color from the beverage. So let's see, gonna grab a little bit more of this light gray that I've mixed up to outline the handle. Dunder Mifflin, I learned something new today. All right, I'm just gonna outline a couple more of these lines. And now for kind of one of the last things that I want to do here is I'm gonna add a cast shadow, so kind of like what you see here. And to do that, I'm gonna go in and just grab a little bit more of this slate black. And I'm going to paint just very, like not applying a ton of pressure on my brush pen, just a very thin line right underneath this gloss and off to the side just a little bit. Then I'm going to clean off the brush pen really well. And now I'm going to go back and soften. So I'm just kind of going over these lines and softening them up. So it creates a nice little cast shadow and kind of, makes your sketch look a little bit more dimensional. This is one of my favorite watercolor techniques because it's so simple, like such an easy little trick, but it just really transforms taking it like whatever shape you're painting from it being flat to, having more of an interesting look, more dimension. And let's see, the last thing we could do here on the lemon, so this area has dried. I'm gonna grab more of this like really saturated yellow that I mixed up and just gonna add little tiny specks with my brush to kind of show the texture of the lemon. Totally optional, but I think it makes it look a little bit more fun. Maybe outline some of these lines. All right. So remember, watercolor will always dry kind of like a shade lighter than what you're painting. So if you'd like to, after it dries, if you would like to add a little bit more, like another coat or layer of color, you can always do that. So let's see if I'm going to grab a little bit more burnt umber and mix it up in here. And then I can go into some of these areas and like just add another layer. And anytime you have like really harsh edges, if you're not a fan of that, remember you can always, with a clean damp brush, you can come in and kind of like soften them up and make them, make them look softer as opposed to really pronounced. All right. How are you doing, Dan? How's your Kvass Cocktail looking?
Not too shabby, actually. My edges are a little hard, as you mentioned, but I'm trying to soften them up.
Yeah,
based
you
on
can
your
soften them.
advice.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Soften those edges.
Maybe I like hard edges. Maybe I like a little bit of edge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
actually,
watercolor.
that's a very good point. Like, you don't have to. Watercolor is, very
Subjective.
flexible to like whatever style you want. Oh my gosh, look at that. That's awesome. I like you used a lot more color this time.
Yeah.
The only thing,
strong
like,
color.
maybe I would add a little bit more shadow, like on the glass in this area, but you probably just didn't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was working up to that.
Exactly. Yeah. Nice. Nicely done, Dan.
No, you're not going to say that some notes. this
Some
time.
notes. It's just the shadows
Yeah,
and
some notes. Thank
and
you.
maybe actually on the bottom you could diffuse the shadow here a little bit too.
Yes.
You know, soften
It's
the edges. That's the only some notes I have.
I'll take it.
Yeah. All right. So before we get too blinded by the sun, which is this thing.
Switching around.
Yeah, I'm switching the camera. All right.
Oh, over here.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys so much.
I had my own cocktail while Volta was enjoying hers. It's just cognac.
Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope this inspires you to at least try Kvass, like if you see it. But do be aware that if you try it once and like it's bad, it's probably just bad Kvass, because like it is like the equivalent of a root beer.
Yeah, if you enjoy the taste of like Nutella
Yeah.
on wheat bread.
Yeah. Then you'll like this cocktail.
You'll like this cocktail.
But you need Frangelico for that.
You need Frangelico or just a hazelnut liqueur.
Yeah.
But as far as Kvass goes, it should taste sweet, not tart.
Yeah.
It should actually taste similar to, as the one gentleman or lady was saying, like root beer, but with a little bit more spice, I guess.
Yeah.
Or like breadiness, I guess, for lack of a better, maltiness.
Yeah.
Yeah, like root beer, the same type of like, vegetalness. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
I'm looking for the descriptions of Scotch here.
Yeah, it's like Russian Coke. Just remember that.
Russian Coke with a little bit of that, earthy vegetal spiciness that you get in a root beer, plus a little malty bread, yeasty flavor that you get from.
I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but yeah.
In a good way.
In a good way.
It's like when people describe
beer.
Beer,
right?
yeah, beer, or
I don't know.
There's even some white wines that people look for the smell of cat urine in. So not this one, but yes, that is
No.
I'm telling you, there's a pretentious term in wine circles for the smell of cat urine that is considered very desirable in some white wines.
We'll have to Google that, because never heard that.
I saw it on that Bon Appetit guy.
Okay.
The one dude that's the sommelier for the everyday person.
But on a lighter note, Kvass is good. Does not taste like cat urine.
No, it does not.
Not that I've tasted cat urine in any way. This is just taking a weird turn. But thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Thanks, Dan, for this weird tangent.
You are welcome. Kvass doesn't taste like cat urine.
Yes. We'll see you guys next week. I'm really excited.
Nice.
Next week we're gonna have carrot?
Carrot and mezcal cocktail.
It's so
quasi
good.
original one again.
It's so good, and the best part, it's pretty.
It is very pretty.
Yeah.
It's smoky.
So get ready. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.
Bye, guys.